There's an old saying that America will only be destroyed from within. That's why they're kind of carting in millions of people in our country from other countries. But that also includes at the government level. And what James O'Keefe from the O'Keefe Media Group did in his latest Undercover, jammed up somebody who works at a high level at the Pentagon who wants to do some things you need to know about. But first, I want to thank today's sponsor, the Sonoran Desert Institute. With more than 350 million firearms in the United States, the time has never been better to learn how to be a gunsmith. The Sonoran Desert Institute offers online firearms technology education with hands-on labs and materials shipped directly to you at your door. Course topics range from armorer's classes, shooting sports management, ballistics, gunsmithing, and more. Get your education and turn your passion for firearms into a successful career. Visit sdi.edu/GNG to get started today. I am somebody who watches just about all of the stuff that James O'Keefe does, even from when he started with the other company that he founded that decided they wanted to get rid of him. I think he does great work. A lot of people don't like the way he comes off, but the information he gets is great. He posed undercover with a person who works on a date with a person who works at the Pentagon. And I'm going to do a couple quick clips here just to show you the crux of it. If you want to see more, you can head over to O'Keefe Media Group's website and check it out. But this person, first off, he writes all of the responses to all of the testimony in the hearings we see whenever anybody from the Pentagon is standing before or sitting before different committees and testifying in Congress. He also has said that he wants to abolish the Second Amendment and to go get all the guns and use the National Guard to do it. Wants to rip down the border and just not have a border. Wants to pack the Supreme Court so that they can abolish the Second Amendment and more. But I want you to hear it from his own self. Yeah.
I'm an assistant director.
Assistant director?
Mm-hmm.
What part of it?
I work for the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness.
Meet Jason Beck, Associate Director, Total Force Requirements and Sourcing Policy, Office of the Secretary of Defense. Even though his real name is Jason Beck, his LinkedIn says Jason Beck, and phone records from his cell phone indicate that Jason Beck is who he is, he introduced himself to me as Aiden Gray. Jason Beck is not a low-level official. He told us he writes the answers for high-level officials at congressional posture hearings. Jason Beck, Associate Director, Total Force Requirements and Sourcing Policy from the Office of the Secretary of Defense, says he would like to work on a monopoly on violence, which, according to Britannica, is a concept that the state alone has the right to use or authorize the use of physical force. Beck describes it as, quote, "We, the government, are the only ones with guns."
I would like to do some work on the state's monopoly on violence.
On the what?
The state's monopoly on violence.
State's monopoly, what is that?
It's the idea that the state, meaning the country, is the only sort of legitimate purveyor of violence and force of force. We're the only ones with guns, right?
Going back to your topic, it's like the state should be the only one that has access to these sorts of firearms, essentially.
Yeah.
Jason Beck, Associate Director, Total Force Requirements and Sourcing Policy from the Office of the Secretary of Defense, says that, quote, "We, the government, should repeal the Second Amendment and take all the guns away," unquote. Man, they always shout Second Amendment, Second Amendment.
I think we should repeal it and take them all away. Whatever, just take them all. Gosh, there's so many things that you could do.
On guns, particularly, would just be repeal it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we have a need for it.
Jason Beck says you just have to take the guns. up to and including mobilization of the National Guard. How do we deal with these crazy people, though, that they don't want to give them up?
You have to take them.
So what would be like a federal solution?
But I wonder if you would see a similar solution to like school integration.
Yeah.
You know, where they did have to mobilize the National Guard. How many people in the National Guard, maybe were personally opposed to integration, but still followed orders and made it happen?
Hopefully they would have to follow the orders.
Right.
Because that's what they'd have to do.
Right. Yeah, if it's a lawfully given order.
Correct.
So again, credit to James O'Keefe and his O'Keefe Media Group company. Head on down to O'Keefe's website if you want to see more information, or join and subscribe and get all that information before anybody else does. I want your response. Although this person isn't big enough or bad enough to come get him himself, these types of thoughts permeate our government at every level, including the Pentagon. What do you think about that? Do you think this is a nothing burger? Or you think that where there's smoke, there's fire, and if they're talking about this in the Pentagon, we already know that Biden is in favor of doing a lot of the stuff this guy's talking about. Do you think it's something we should be aware of? I think so. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Guys and gals, have a great day. I will see you on the next one. Have a phenomenal day. Tell your friends, your family you love them. You never know if you'll ever get that second chance to do it. So go make somebody smile today. Take care.